Hi, Sun Devil fans. This is Hod Rubino from DevilsDigest.com. I'm over here with Sun Devil Network color commentator Kyle Dodd. And Kyle, this is our tradition to recap Arizona State's non-conference slate of the season. This is a period where we look really more to the future than the present, but we obviously have to address the 67-66 loss to Princeton today. What have you seen were some of the issues that really plagued Arizona State today in that loss?
I think it's the same thing that's plagued them over the last couple ball games. Missed opportunities, missed layups, missed floaters, missed bunnies at the rim. I thought they missed a bunch of, buckets around the rim in the Kansas game. And to beat the #1 team in the country, missing 12 free throws and layups like they did, I thought it was remarkable, and it spoke to how tough they played and how they did all the little things. Unfortunately, today wasn't the same, and as high as the program was a week ago, it feels pretty low right now. But that being said, they've had a successful non-conference. They've played some good basketball. Schedule was tough again. Have some great wins, and they've kind of carried the conference in that sense. But tough way to go into conference. But they'll regroup, and I think they'll have their attention focused on Utah.
The knee-jerk reaction of maybe more cynical fans out there, or maybe the not-so-cynical fans, to say that Arizona State proved that they cannot handle success well, that this was a hangover after such a statement win against Kansas. Just from your playing days, do you believe in that theory that after such a big win, it's only natural that you have a letdown, and sometimes that letdown does result in a defeat like today?
Yeah, it's tough. It's human nature. I remember playing, and it's easy to say that doesn't happen, but you have the #1 team in the country, arguably the biggest home game of the history of the program, and you have an upset win, and then you go home for Christmas, and everybody probably tells you how good you are and how well you're playing, and then you got to come back and you have one game before conference starts, so you're ready for conference, but you got to take care of this little one game first. And Princeton's a team that runs a little bit of a gimmick system, and a tough team to guard. They really execute in the half court, and it was a tough game, I thought, on the schedule in general, but it's just tough. I think that it was a letdown, not that the guys didn't want to win or weren't playing hard or whatnot. It was just, it's a tough game, and things didn't go their way. And, we saw some ridiculous shots from Princeton at the end of shot clocks and stuff. Everything they threw up, went in at one point, and the Devils, again, missed so many opportunities that it's just one of those games. It wasn't their night. It wasn't their day. You tip your hat to Princeton, and you move on, and you have a great opportunity in front of you, in the Pac-12.
So now that we put a bow on the game against Princeton, and I know that one win or one loss should not affect how you perceive this team coming out of non-conference schedule and going into the Pac-12 slate next week, but obviously when we were standing here this time last year, we were talking about a perfect record, number 3 ranking in the nation. But do you feel that this team is on par with the team that we saw from ASU last year going into Pac-12 play, better or worse?
I think this team is more, it has the talent that's more sustainable. They can sustain the success they've had. I think on the roster, with their length, their depth, their athleticism, it's different than last year. Everything went perfect last year in that 12-0 start. It was just a magical start, and, it was fun, and, shots were falling from all over the place, but you kind of had that sense that at some point it was going to come back to reality. This team's a little different story. I think they're built to last. I think they're built to succeed in conference, and I think obviously outside of this hiccup and losing to a top 5 team in Nevada, outside of your building is not a bad loss. Vandy was, we had 2 separate 9-point leads, really a close game until the very end there, and it was on the back end of a long road trip. So those losses are not horrible losses. Obviously, this is a game today that you got to win at your place, but you didn't get it done. And like I said, you have a great opportunity in front of you. And I think this team, with their talent level and their ability to play different ways and guard the basketball and win games defensively, I think they can have success in the league.
I don't want to spend too much time on individual players, but I think one I guess, warning sign, if you will, is the play of Logan Stewart. Obviously, the first 5-6 games of the year played unbelievable. Already talk about him being an NBA lottery pick and whatnot. But the last 3 games, shooting 7 out of 35. Do you think it's a matter of teams maybe just really figured out Logan Stewart and how to stop him on offense, or is it maybe just that freshman wall that at one point you are going to hit?
Yeah, I mean, these are, you got to remember, we were so spoiled those first couple of games because he doesn't look like a freshman. He doesn't play like a freshman, and he's, ultra talented. And I think Lou right now is just trying to figure it out a little bit. I mean, he's missing shots that he knows he can make, he should make. There's times when I think he over-penetrates. There's times when he doesn't get calls. I still maintain, I don't understand how he doesn't get to the line more. I know it's got to be tough to officiate him because he's so physical and so strong, but that doesn't mean he's not getting hit. And he hasn't got the benefit of any whistles at all this year, really, from the start. But yeah, I think he's just, he's feeling his way out right now. He's, a freshman, and that's what happens. I think sometimes you got to go through those growing pains, and, he's been a tremendous player for this team and will be. I think he'll be a huge player down the stretch for the Devils.
As a former point guard yourself, I can't think of any better person to ask you about the play of Remy Martin. And obviously you have to put the caveat of him being injured and not being 100% maybe until the last week or so, if that. Do you think that just all the ups and downs that Remy Martin has gone through, and like I said, some of it is just objective health issues, have really hurt this team in spots and maybe in a game like this today too? Well,
I think, in general, just the health of everybody has been an issue with this team. I mean, they haven't practiced at full strength really all year since the summer, and I think Mickey Mitchell's issue, still ongoing. Rob Edwards, Remy, and just getting these guys back in the mix and finding some sort of chemistry. And I think, Remy's shown when he's healthy, he's obviously, extremely athletic. He gets after the basketball, makes plays, makes hustle plays. He's the energy guy. I think where Remy, I think, has got to get a little bit better is just trusting teammates, pitching the ball ahead, throwing it ahead, letting his guys make plays. He's going to be Remy. He's going to make those plays that we've seen him do for 2 years now. But I think that Remy really, if I saw it from me, if I thought he could improve a little bit at just running the ball club, just running the team, make it his team, and making sure guys are getting touches in rhythm, and scores are balls there on time, on target, and that kind of stuff. But Remy's obviously such a huge part, and his health has been really big. If he's healthy, then he's going to be a huge contributor.
In your opinion, who's the most surprising player on this ASU team so far?
Probably Zylan. I think I knew he was a freak athlete. I knew he was going to do a lot of things above the rim. I thought he's going to run the floor, but I didn't quite know that he could do all the things that he's been able to do. He's basically essentially like a point forward out there. He's making plays for others. Gets after it on the defensive end. Like I said, it didn't surprise me in the sense that he's playing so well. It just surprised me that how much he can do on the floor and how much he affects the game. And I've been really excited to watch him. And I think the other thing is the guy that's going under the radar for me is Romello. I mean, he's the only returning starter. No one really ever talks about him, but he's just kind of slowly but surely doing his thing and getting the job done. And I thought he's had a nice year.
And any player that, maybe not disappointing, but a player that you expected much more, at least at this point of the season, from?
I just think it's nothing that I'm disappointed in, but like health-wise, again, a Mickey or a Rob getting back healthy. And we've seen Rob, what he can do the last couple of games when healthy. I think I would want to see Kamani be maybe a little more aggressive. I think Kamani showed flashes at the beginning of the year, and he's such an unselfish team guy that I think there's times when he may be able to force the issue a little bit and make plays for himself and for others. But overall, I think, just health, these guys, once they're healthy, I think this is a team that, to me, I think they're the best team in the league. And I think that they have an opportunity to win the league, and let's see what they can do.
And last question, I know it's been open season on the Pac-12 basketball world. A lot of critics, both locally and nationally, really hammering this conference for their poor showing in non-conference play. Obviously, a loss today by Arizona State to Princeton doesn't change that perception, and maybe even negates all the goodwill, if you will, from the Kansas win. But going into Pac-12 play, I got to feel that there's a lot of parity on the one hand, but on the other hand, notwithstanding today's loss, maybe Arizona State might look a little better than its foes in the conference. What are your thoughts going into Pac-12 play next week?
Yeah, I think to this point, prior to today, they were kind of the savior for the league. they were getting it done, and they were the only one that was getting it done. So, you know, you got to look at it from an outside perspective. They're probably considered the only quality win available in the league. So you're going to take everybody's best shot. If they can get Arizona State, it's going to add a good win to the resume. And you know, home wins aren't going to do you much in this league, you know, this year, because you know they're expected. Every road win's a good win, you know, in the league. But you know, ASU is going to get everybody's best shot. They're a quality win, quality opponent, and I think to me, again, they're the team to beat. That being said, you know, expectations and putting it all together, we'll see what they can do. But I think that we'll see quickly that people are going to be gunning for them. They have a target on their back, and that's because they've had success.
Well, 2018 doesn't end the way the Sun Devils wanted to culminate, but let's see how 2019 the Sun Devils fare. For Kyle Dodd, this is Hodor Bino wishing you a happy new year, and we will talk to you later on this season.